Welcome to our junior college planning presentation. This presentation will help you begin the process of researching where you would like to go to college. Before we begin, we would like you to take a survey. Please pause the video now and scan the QR code. If you can't scan it, the link to the survey is provided in the info section below this video. It is important to reflect on your own interests and career goals when deciding on what you want to do after high school. Remember, it is your decision, no one else's. Most of our graduates will go on to college, which is what most of this presentation is on. College can mean a four-year university or a community college. The community college that serves us is COD. You can attend COD for 2 years and then transfer to a four-year university, or for 1 year to 2 years and earn a degree or certificate that will allow you to immediately get a job and join the workforce. There are also many trade schools with industry-specific training in areas ranging from cosmetology to auto repair. Many of these programs are also offered at COD, so compare your options. There are also dozens of apprenticeship opportunities that will allow you to get paid to learn a trade. If you see yourself working with your hands, this may be a good option. See cisco.org for options. Some of you may also decide to serve in the military. This is a decision you should consider carefully as it carries with it many risks and rewards. There are officer training programs and service academies for students that would like to serve while earning a degree. There is a lot to do throughout the college application process. This is why we are starting now and not senior year. Junior year is about figuring out what is important to you in college and life after high school. Once you figure that out, it is about researching options to find ones that meet what you're looking for. You also need to continue to do well in your classes, as they are probably the most important factor in determining what your options may be. We will meet with you individually in the spring to talk about your post-secondary plans and what needs to take place during the summer so that you are ready to apply next fall. Prior to meeting with your counselor in the spring, you need to have done some thinking on your own on what you want and have begun your research. This presentation will outline what you need to do. It can be overwhelming, but you will have until May 1st of your senior year to make your decision on where you will attend. Follow the steps we talk about here, and you will keep as many options open to you as possible. There are many things to consider when looking at a college. Some may be important to you, some may not. This is where your self-reflection comes in. The right college for your parents, siblings, and friends may not be the right college for you. Here are just some factors to consider. Colleges range in size from a few hundred students to around 50,000 students, and everywhere in between. There are advantages to large schools and there are advantages to small schools. It is best to know yourself and where you will do your best. Large colleges may offer expansive facilities, endless course offerings and opportunities, and 100,000 people football stadiums. Smaller colleges may offer a tighter-knit community with generally smaller classes and the opportunity to get to know your professors better. There is no one-size-fits-all. Location is important to consider as well. Do you want to be able to drive home on the weekend? Or are you okay if it means booking a flight to come and go? There are costs to travel to consider along with the ease of getting home if you need to. Are you a city person? Do you like the hustle and bustle of a New York or a Chicago? Or maybe a smaller city like a Des Moines or Indianapolis? Do you want to be surrounded by that city? Or do you want to be in the suburbs? So you're a little bit further away, but it's still accessible. Or is a college town more your speed? A town where there is still stuff to do, but the college is an integral part of the community at large. There are also rural colleges that are in very small towns or not in towns at all. You are fully engulfed by the college community with all that you do. Public or private may also be a consideration. Public colleges are meant to serve the public of the state they are in. Private colleges may have many different missions. They may be geared towards the liberal arts, a religious philosophy, or some other distinguishing characteristic. What is important to you is important in finding your fit. Do you want to go to college with a dozen or more people that you graduate high school with? Or do you want to be the only person from West on your campus? Going to college in-state or out-of-state will partially determine that. Although some out-of-state colleges are just as popular with West graduates as in-state schools, public colleges out-of-state will usually have a higher cost than public colleges in-state, whereas private colleges cost the same regardless of where you are from. If there is a particular subject that you would like to study, or if you are looking at a college with a particularly strong or well-regarded program in a certain area, that is also something you will need to consider. Cost will also most likely factor into your decision, and we'll talk more about that later. The most important thing that colleges look at are your grades and the rigor of your high school classes. You apply to college in fall of senior year, so the most recent grades that colleges get to see are your junior year grades. Do your best to show them that you are ready for the challenge of college work by being successful in your high school classes this year. Some colleges like to see specific classes like 2 years or more of a world language or a year of fine art. Check their admissions websites to learn more about specific requirements. West uses a 5.0 GPA scale. When you look at a college's website or speak to an admissions rep, they will give you GPA for scholarships and for admissions on a 4.0 scale. Note that your GPA on a 4.0 scale is going to be about a point lower than it is on a 5.0 scale. Test scores, like the ACT or SAT, are becoming less important than they used to be. This is something we'll talk more about in a minute. Many colleges want to read a personal statement or essay. They are looking to learn what is important to you and what kind of impact you will have on their community. In preparation for this, don't be afraid to take every opportunity to have experiences or explore things that may be of interest to you. Keep a notepad handy and jot down anything that comes to mind that may make for a good essay. Your activities in school and outside of school give a college an insight into what you value. This isn't just clubs. It is work experience, family obligations, church, scouting, volunteering, filming your own YouTube videos, singing in a band or choir, or anything else that you spend your time doing. Colleges don't want to see you involved in dozens of different organizations. They would much rather see a depth of involvement and leadership in just a couple. Ideally, a letter of rec will come from a junior year teacher. These are your current teachers. Given the state of the current world, it may be a struggle to feel like you are connecting in a meaningful way with your teachers this year. However, you can still make it happen. Turn on your cameras during class, ask questions, lead discussions. You can still give teachers lots of good things to say about you. Based upon some combination of these factors, colleges will make a decision. There is not one thing you can do to get into college, and it isn't just one thing that's going to keep you out. After watching this video, it is time to get started. You will want to begin developing a list of colleges you are interested in. Most of the colleges you consider should be schools that typically admit students that match your academic profile. This would be students that have earned a similar GPA and have taken similar classes. Also, students who earned similar SAT or ACT scores. You can consider some reach schools that you are interested in, but where your GPA is below that of students they typically admit, your chances are less likely of getting accepted. You should also consider at least a couple of safety schools. These are schools where your GPA and test scores are higher than the students they typically admit. This means you are very likely to be admitted. It also means they are more likely to award you generous financial aid. Once you have researched some possibilities, you will want to update your list in Naviance of colleges you are thinking about. We'll show you how to do that in a minute. Also in Naviance, you will want to update your resume and sign up for a college rep visits. College reps meet with students from West throughout the fall and spring. These meetings serve two purposes. First, it allows you to get information about a college. Second, it demonstrates to the college that you're interested in them. The reps you meet with are the same people that will review your applications and play a large role in determining which students get admitted. It's important to ask good questions and make a good impression. We will be using Naviance for our college research. Naviance has many tools designed to help you narrow the 3,000 or so colleges in the U.S. down to a reasonable number for you to research. I'm going to show you a couple of things, but feel free to explore Naviance more. You can use the Show Me How feature to get guided tours of many of Naviance's features. I am going to show you how to use Naviance's Supermatch, how to look at college profiles and scattergrams, and how to add colleges that you want to learn more about to the colleges you're thinking about list. You log into Naviance through the Naviance link on the Students tab on the West website. Once you are logged in, you will see the Naviance home screen. It will look slightly different if you are using an iPad or phone. At the top, you will see the different pages. We used the careers page last year to explore careers. You're welcome to use it more and do additional personality assessments to learn about yourself and possible career matches. The About Me is where you will find surveys that we ask you to complete. It's also where you'll have the resume, which we would like you to continue to update with your activities, honors, and awards, both in school and out of school. But what we really want you to do today is look at the colleges page. Naviance has many search tools. We're going to show you the Supermatch, but you can use the others as well. When you select the Supermatch, you input the criteria that is important to you in a college match. You will go through each criteria listed, and if it is important to you, select what you are looking for. You don't need to put something in each criteria, so if it doesn't matter to you, you can skip it. I would encourage you to skip cost for now, since the cost you pay is going to be different based on so many other factors. Once you have selected criteria, you can indicate if they are must-haves or nice-to-haves by moving them over. This will generate a list of colleges that match your criteria. Take a look at the list. Don't be afraid to look at schools that you haven't heard of. This is kind of the whole point of this, to explore your options. You can click on the colleges to view their profiles. You can get a lot of info about the college here. On the overview page, you may see notes that were inputted by our counselors after meeting with their admissions reps. If you scroll down, you'll see a lot of information about the college. The Studies and Student Life tabs have additional information as well. The admissions page will give you an idea if the school is an academic match, reach, or safety. You can see a scattergram with data from all the students from West that have applied to this school. The data is self-reported by students, so it may not be 100% accurate, but it does give a good idea of where you may fit in on the continuum of students that are typically admitted. This is based solely on GPA and test score. Colleges consider many other factors, so this is only a starting point. Don't be discouraged, but do be realistic. You may see some outliers. This could be due to numerous reasons, anywhere from incorrectly entered data to a student being a recruited athlete. If you scroll down, you can also see what high school classes are required or recommended for admissions at this particular college. Always double check these on a college's own website. If you scroll back up to the top, you'll see a link to the college's website underneath the college's name. Explore their websites. If they sound like a college you would like to apply to or learn more about, click on the heart to add it to your list of colleges you're thinking about. Use this list to keep track of the colleges you are researching. Take some time today to add at least 2 colleges to this list. Return to Naviance as often as you would like to research colleges and update your list. In the age of COVID, communicating with and learning about colleges has become more virtual. You can attend virtual college visits and virtual college fairs. It is also important to learn about a college through their website. Look at their About Us page or mission statements to see what they value. Look at their majors to make sure they have programs that you are interested in. Take a virtual tour or sign up for an on campus tour if and when they are offering them. All juniors will take an SAT on April 13th. This is a school day. You will not need to register for this SAT. This school day SAT is required for graduation, but can also be used for college applications. If you would like to take an additional SAT or an ACT, you will register for these on your own. They are offered on Saturdays throughout the year. You do not need to take the Saturday tests at West. You can take them anywhere that it is being offered. Colleges will accept either ACTs or SAT scores and have no preference on either one. Some students will test better on one test than the other. Colleges have different policies on whether they require you to submit test scores when you apply. Some will require you to submit a score. This means you will need to submit a score to be considered. Sometimes they will allow you to self-report your score. Sometimes you need to get an official score report sent from the test company. Some colleges are test optional. If they are test optional, it will be up to you if you would like to send test scores. Generally, if your score is within the middle to high end of their average test score range, you're going to want to send them. If it is below, have a conversation with your counselor. It may be best not to send them. If a college is test optional, they give no preference to students who submit scores or those who don't send scores. Some colleges have become test blind. This means they will not consider test scores. They don't want them, don't send them, they won't look at them. There are also some colleges that don't exactly fit into any of these categories. These schools may be referred to as test flexible. Ask your counselor to clarify any questions you have about if an SAT or ACT is required for that college. You can see a growing list of colleges that use test optional admissions by going to fairtest.org. Much is currently to be determined in the world of college admissions testing. The trend is moving more towards test optional and test blind. COVID has led fewer chances for students to test. The class of 2020 and 2021 had huge changes to college testing policies. Some things remain to be seen for the class of 2022. Pay attention to announcements from your counselor. We are following the trends in college admissions. Regardless of if you think you will need a test score or not, it is best to err on the side of caution, which means preparing for the SAT. There is free online prep available through Khan Academy. It will link previous PSAT scores and tailor the prep for where you need it. There are also classes available. Info was shared via Schoology and email about free virtual classes offered through Glenbard, provided by Academic Approach. We recommend signing up for these ASAP so that you get a spot. You are also welcome to look into outside services to provide tutoring or classes. College costs are an important factor, probably the most important factor for many of our students. Other than buying a home, it is probably the largest investment that most people will ever make. But data continuously shows that a college degree will pay for itself and then some over time. All colleges are required to have a net price calculator on their website that allows you to input your info and get an estimate of what that college will cost for you. Most students do not pay the tuition price that colleges have on their websites. The net price calculator will help you estimate your cost. College Scorecard is another website with helpful data that might help you determine the value of a college. You can look up retention rates and graduation rates. The higher these are, the better. Cost is important, but don't be scared off by large numbers. There is financial aid available. Keep in mind that the higher your grades, the more financial aid you will be eligible for. Links for all resources mentioned during this presentation are listed on the Class of 2022 Preparing for College info sheet. The link for this is listed below this video. You will meet individually with your counselor in the spring. We look forward to helping you through the college research and application process.